Good afternoon, everyone.
And for those of you on the West Coast, good morning.
And if you're EU, good evening.
Regardless, good day.
I am welcoming you all here to our Group B of our 4th annual Soul Blazer Randomizer Tournament, or Percent 4. I am Amalas. With me on comms is Dogdo. We are still having some technical difficulties, so we just wanted to come in here and let you guys kind of know what's going on.
Indeed, we've got 4 great runners in a great randomizer game. And as things go, of course, we have a few glitches that we have to just iron out here, so please be patient. We'll get that rolling very shortly.
And I'm just waiting on one more runner to finish up, and then I'll be able to get this all started for us. So for those of you that watched our first race, that was an exciting first race. Can't wait to see what this group does, because this group right here, the times are a lot closer together. So they're all like, even though they're all top tier runners, they're like all kind of that middle group that we all want to cheer for.
Indeed, just 6 stones and some items should be good to go. Seems easy, right? I suppose we'll see what the seed has rolled for us today.
And let's just remember that it's not just who wins this race that we are looking for. It will also be whoever comes in closest second place will move on to our finals tomorrow. So it could be a really interesting day for everybody. Okay, just doing a final ready check with the runners, and then we'll get started.
Chat's pointing out that we cannot see a couple of the item trackers. That's the issue at hand that we've been trying to iron out this morning or this afternoon.
Oh yes, let me ping the racers real quick and see if they can get that fixed. Okay, there we go. I'm just trying to make sure that everybody is ready so that this doesn't come as a shock to anybody. Green Ann, I thought you were going to rest. Okay, I got confirmation that all of our racers are ready, so we are going to start this countdown and get this race started. Good luck to everyone, and have a good race.
Indeed, it should be a good one today.
Okay, there we go. We have our countdown started. And they're off. So, for those that are new to this, you always start off in that first chest with the Sword of Life, and we go from there. And our little magician there gives us Emblem D. Not such a great item to start with, but it could be very useful in the end.
And with that one, there are 7 more, but then the item the jewel may give you, we still don't know. It may be required, it may be a medical herb.
Or, like in the last seed, a strange bottle. So you will notice some of these runners are kind of getting both of those layers activated at the same time. That is a trick that some of the speedrunners do to try to maximize their downtime.
Indeed. The layers themselves spawn differently. Some of them will automatically spawn enemies rather quickly at varying speeds. Others you have to come to close proximity to them before they will start spawning, and then spawn them one at a time.
So this one started off kind of vanilla. That first NPC layer that we got was the old lady that creates the house that we will need in order to get out of this first act. And it's just interesting to watch these runners get through this first part that's very, very linear. Yes, a lot of our runners don't like the little plants that we've got right there, because they tend to just wander off everywhere. Our second emblem and the village chief, so we will be getting out of Act 1 pretty quickly.
We have 1 down and 5 to go.
I'm expecting this to be a very close race with these runners. They normally all kind of race together during the weeklies and random seed races that they set up, so it should be very interesting.
For those of you who are new to Soul Blazer in general, %, why might that be called the name? There may be a few medical alerts in this game. You may see that come up from time to time. When you have that item equipped, it will heal you back to full strength if that player bar at the top left runs out.
Oh, all the lag on the screen with these monsters.
Indeed, the fire pots certainly do not help.
So definitely seeing a lot of the NPCs that we're going to need to get through the varying acts being opened up. But still not, not a lot of areas to go to just yet. We saw Axeman there take the intentional death warp to get back quickly to get out of that area. Luckily right now we don't have any magic, so that death warp isn't too costly to our runners just yet, but who knows, we could end up with a magic in the next check and be something that we could really use to help get through these areas.
And our runners are now all proceeding to Act 2, which is Greenwood, and off to do more battle.
Nice to see that we're getting, some of those critical, hard to find pathways opened up kind of early, other than it's just going to kind of see where the bottleneck comes into the scene. Well, as I'm watching the chat, we're having some interesting conversation between runners in our later race. And, you know, the odds are always in your favor.
However, with all things randomizer, you just never know.
Right now we're seeing Axeman and Chitin dealing with these teleporting statues. Unfortunately, this is the one of the slow. It's only gonna give us one at a time, which sometimes with these statues is horrible.
Indeed, the ideal would be you have magic to use, they all spawn at the same time, and you just blast them away.
Again, a lot of these flowers that spawn little butterflies that can be troublesome to the runners if they're not careful. Oh, an early pet deer.
That's not necessarily something you want to see early, that much is certain. The emblems that they're collecting thus far, that deer is important to retrieve or trade the emblems in.
So for all those new to Soul Blazer Randomizer or Soul Blazer in general, the way to get to the end of the game is to find our 6 stones, which are all colored, so you'll see the different colors pop up. As they find the stones, the 6 world NPCs and the paths to them, along with Soul Armor, Soul Blade, Phoenix, and the 3 red hot items. During the first commentary, I think we said that I remember being told that there's like 31 critical NPCs that you need for getting through the game if you just want to do it fast. But of course, there are so many NPCs in this game that hold on to all those items, so there's no telling where they're going to be at. And lay Hulk with the raid party before his race this evening. Welcome in, La Hulk, and all of your raiders. We kind of just got started with this second race, and just watching how it all goes. Welcome in Skarsnickus to the chat. Send him a shout out for the tracker that we're using today. Thank you very much, sir.
So we're at Act 2 and have 5 emblems. That can't be good.
A little scary. Definitely. Well, and that mermaid just told us that we at least will have some armor before too much longer. Hopefully, if we can find the Woods Guardian to get out of Act 2. So first, let me go back and apologize. This race today is between TheAxeMan301, PaleDim25, Kapitein44, and Captain Cook. Like I said, all of them are great runners within the rando. Some have world records. Some are very helpful in just getting you to learn this rando. Others are very new at it and have just taken to it very quickly. But please make sure that you follow our runners, because like I said, they all are great. If you are interested in learning this rando, we'll post our Discord information in the chat momentarily, and like I said, we'll help get you started on learning, and maybe next year see you here on Speed Gaming.
So we just saw the bridge guard that will provide access soon to where that pass may be handy. We'll see about that.
Galena, it's okay. I want everybody pulling for their favorite runner. It just helps that know that there's support in the chat for these various people. It'll be interesting to see who all opens up the little teleport pad here. I know there's some runners that'll skip it. Turbo's good, people. It's okay. I appreciate that he's here.
So for those of you who may be wondering, looking at the tracker, what am I looking at there? So again, the stone count is at the bottom. Out of 6, we have 0, or all 4 have 0. To the right, on the bottom right, is the number of emblems. There are 8, and we are already at 6, so we may see the jewel to conduct the trade there. And then the lower row are the 6 NPCs that help you progress to the different acts. As you see, the first one is lit. In this act, we're waiting for the Woods Guardian to arrive so that we can proceed further.
And right there we saw Axeman go back to the Hype Cave in Act 1, which is the Grass Valley, where he found the green stone and bubble armor, along with the delicious seeds that we might need. PaleDim finding our first, and Kapitein finding our first red hot item with the red hot ball. So, little fact with the logic of this game, that chest right there that Axeman just opened, since that layer right there does turn it into a set of stairs, it will always have an item that is not critical to the game. So whether it's gems or an herb or something along those lines. So yes, the vanilla game is extremely linear. However, La Hulk went in and was able to randomize it to get where the NPCs that are not like act required NPCs are shuffled around. So like the most linear one is of course the underground castle, which was that first area we saw, because before you can get out of that zone, you have to find the old woman and the village chief. From there on out, the only thing that logically isn't available under one of these layers is like the NPC that you need for that zone. So like in all the areas that open up, eventually you'll find the Woods Guardian. And then when you get to Act 3, the Mermaid Queen will, those are the only ones that are kind of hard set as to how far into the game they can be. And please, chat, if what I say does come off confusing, please just re-ask your question and I'll try to figure out what I said that confused you. It's going to be a very long day for me. I am commentating quite a bit, so try not to let too much get confused in my head from seed to seed that I'm seeing as well.
The game itself tends to be fairly linear, and Randomizer begins linear. However, near the end game, that's when things get somewhat interesting with choices to be made on where you're looking for items and NPCs in order to finish.
So right now you see everybody going through the fire shrine. They do not have the ice armor yet to make this zone very easy. So they are having to wait for those plates to not be red hot or just take the damage on.
And I believe most all of our racers have already equipped their medical herbs in case they do run out of health. They will get that refill.
Right now, since we don't have the Zentetsu sword, there are the monsters that we are unable to beat at this point in time. So you see that we will be making a trip back here at some point for these monsters. Ooh, all the emblems.
I'm going to go with a medical herb on the emblem.
I'll stick with it. It might be a strange bottle. Just for the meme. So yes, while we're talking about that, yes, medical herbs will heal your HP if you run low. The strange bottle is one of the rare items that will actually allow you to keep the gems you have acquired if you take a death. So it could come in handy later on, like if somebody has a lot of gems and realize they're about to die, to be able to save so they have magic later.
And to step that back, for those of you who may be new, you may ask yourself, what are these gems for? Well, we haven't seen any yet, but there are different magics you can get in this game that kind of help you along the way. That floating orb that's surrounding the player can shoot magic or deposit magic out and help defeat some of the enemies that may be a bit far from the player. Those cost gems until such an item as the magic bell is found, and when equipped, then it does not cost gems.
Oh, and we just got Leo's brush there on PaleDim's screen. So maybe a dip back to Leo's painting in Act 1? And there we go, the Greenwood's guardian giving us the Greenwood leaf to push us towards the light shrine.
Just when we thought we were done here, there's another area that we can probably go back and clear at this point. Well, at least for the most part. There are, again, other enemies that need particular sword in order to be defeated in there.
Axeman running around trying to figure out what he still has access to. And a dream rod. Just what we want to find. So for those of you that are new, the dream rod is an item that we need to open up several different NPCs that are sleeping or dreaming. We're able to use that rod to go into those dreams and cause things to happen in the outer world, whether it's open up access to different layers or find items or just all kinds of crazy things. There are a couple that are just useless, and you can run across those in the vanilla game.
You may have also noticed the two players on the left, when they were in the seabed, what was the difference? You may notice on the tracker to our upper left, the X-Men has the bubble armor. That was that what that ginormous bubble is, whereas runner on the lower right or left does not. So it takes damage on the way through that area because they did not pick up and or equip the bubble armor. I don't believe they have it. And we have our first magic of the game, which is Light Arrow. That's a good one to see. It's one of my personal favorites.
Definitely one of the top tier magics of the game. So we did find the Zentetsu sword on PaleDim's screen in the little boy's hideout. So now he is over in the painting, which will make that a full clear for us, which is a good thing to see. But it also means that you're able to go back to the fire shrine as well. Chitin pushing on into Mountain of Souls. Seems a little early for that, but it could pay off, so we're not going to judge. And yes, in that Rockbird cutscene, it is one of the only cutscenes in the game that the monster moving around can actually cause laser damage, in which it could kill you if you're not careful. Chitin showing us the versatility of that light arrow spell in this area. and welcome everybody to the chaos of there being so many areas that everybody can go to. Because we have Axeman in Rockbird, Kapitein on Soul Mountain, PaleDim in Leo's Painting and almost done with it, encountering the first metal monster of the game, traditionally, and then Captain Cook being in St. L's, which was kind of our theme for this year's tournament, with it being the 4th year of the tournament. Yes, Delina, it does. It gets hard to follow when there's this many racers and they're all in different places, but it does make for a good race. Kind of get to see all of the runners' different thought processes for how to get through it.
And if you're watching PaleDim in the upper right, just holding the sword out and effectively poking these enemies, you might be asking, why doesn't he swing it? Well, the sword that he's wielding is a higher level than his player is right now, so he cannot swing it. However, you can hold it out in front of you and poke the enemies with it.
No, I think PaleDim just gave us the NPC that lets the pedestal come into play. And Kapitein showing us the easiest way to handle those like zombie reindeer or mooses or whatever you want to call them. There's so many different names, whichever you prefer. There's our second stone of the game and a red hot mirror. So getting a little bit closer. At least this check didn't turn into completely nothing for anybody. Seeing all of our runners kind of open up different shortcuts and stuff as they go through the seabed. So some of the big things that you'll see the runners try to get to real quick is you'll try to see them get to level 16, which is where they can swing that Zentetsu sword, making the areas so much easier to deal with, along with level 24, which is what we need to finish the game. PaleDim, they're making quick work of the Metal Mantis boss of this area. Okay, and Kapitein there getting the Grandpa to the Lake. That's a big NPC that you need to move around the Mountain of Souls area.
And in the upper right, we see PaleDim doing a good deed, leading a blind mole to their home.
Okay.
And rewarded. Nice.
Yeah, and with that check, he finds our red hot stick, so we know where all 3 red hot items are, and we're only 30 minutes into the seed.
And we're making the emblem trade early. Let's find out what we receive.
And it was an herb. So that lair that you just saw Chitin go past, it requires the mushroom shoes to collect that. Unfortunately, none of our runners have found it yet, so we will still be on the lookout. Okay, so with that blue stone there, that makes 3 stones have been found. Oh, and we got the lucky blade, which will give us access to Loon. Chitin's probably not too excited to see that.
Hopefully for a full clear, he'll have the sleeping mushroom also, and access so that you can just do a 1 pass on it.
And here is Chitin going on to Loon. So we'll see how this all works out. Still missing some NPCs to get to Gnome the Snail, who is our act leader that'll get us on to the rest of the game here. So just gotta wait and see kind of where they're at. Magic really helps out, so it's a good thing that we did find light arrows so early. Really help the runners out. They know how to conserve their gem totals.
Indeed, they are very useful for magic for those purple as well as the red wizards. I just refer to them as wizrobes personally because they are somewhat annoying when they spin up and then teleport somewhere else.
Most of the monsters here in Act 4 can really benefit from having magic, so... Oh, and Chitin finding Queen Magrid, who potentially has us some items. Okay, and what you saw Chitin doing there is if you get yourself caught on a wall, you can actually push the orb that goes around you and cast the magic away from you to reach further away monster lairs. and it comes in handy in quite a few different places because you can kind of direct it in any direction as long as you're pushing against that wall. There is a trick that you can do it with like sword swings, but I'm not well versed in that. That would definitely be some of our more experienced runners that know how to do that to explain that. But I do know it's there to be able to at least give it a little shout out. Okay, so you saw PaleDim there kind of like step off the raft real quick, maybe look like he was gonna just kind of walk into the shrine and not step back. That crystal that he just went to is totally missable if you don't know it's there, so that is some vanilla game knowledge that I learned the hard way. But of course, like I said, getting our first look into the light shrine, see if this is important.
And in here, in the light shrine, there will be another enemy that at this time he won't be able to defeat. It's that spinning orb thing. Requires the spirit sword.
Kapitein here taking on the boss for Act 4, known as Poseidon. In the Japanese version, however, this boss was female and was called Medusa. But for US and European release, they had to change some things up, take away some of the feminine qualities. And so now we've got a man. Oh, so Light Shrine's gonna be a required since Marie the doll is there.
And just something to bear in mind as our runners run their courses here is Marie may be freed and is on the tracker. That does not necessarily mean they can immediately find Marie and then proceed to the next act. There are some requirements by other NPCs which open up areas such as stairs and doors in order to access Marie, for example.
Very, very true. I know we've seen at least the one set of stairs, so there's one set of stairs and one door that we still need to actually get to her. Oh, one of our dancing grandmas there on PaleDim, so even more of a required light shrine. And for those of you that are new, I know you're like wondering how PaleDim is getting around this area that's mostly in the dark. The vanilla game, there is a mole that you unlock that gives you a soul to be able to see down here. And the experienced runners have just gotten to the point that they learn that path without needing that soul access, because it does create a lot of game lag to have that extra animation be running on the screen. Each one of the acts has kind of their own special little soul that you kind of unlock to be able to do certain things. So this one is the one to be able to see there in the dark. Act 3 has one that protects you from the magma falling from the sky. Trying to remember them all off the top of my head.
My grid lets you see the items in the basement, and
then the door in Act 5 lets you see the invisible monsters in the model towns. So the boss of the Light Shrine has our gnome jailer.
Light Shrine is very required.
Everybody will be back before too long.
However, we still haven't seen Gnome himself just yet.
Somebody just unlocked him. Who did I see do that? So I think a lot of them actually have the soul unlocked already. So I think PaleDim might be the only one that doesn't. Okay, I think at this point we've kind of had everybody at least touch these areas at least once. So I think we'll do a quick show of the prize to be able to give a shout out to the monitor, who is also running a special for us for this weekend with the tournament in his Etsy shop. Okay, here's our prize. It's a shadow box. Like I said, it's made by the monitor. He's done a lot of the prizes for the Soul Blazer randos in the past. There's a link to his Etsy shop. Here is a link to the to his shop with the code for the sale that he's doing this weekend for us. Code there's going to be Soul Sale. And thank you, Delina, for correcting how I'm saying PaleDim's name. Okay, I know Captain Cook just sent me a message. He's having some technical difficulties. Hopefully that will get corrected fairly soon. And Chitin is our first one to find the Gnome King and be able to get us to Gnome.
And you may have seen there that a grandma is ready to dance, but needs a partner still. And needs some items for that.
There we go. Looks like we got everybody back up and running quickly enough. Oh, and Chitin found our mushroom shoes. And PaleDim found our second grandma somewhere.
Indeed, and between the trackers for the 4 runners, I see all 3 items are available, the red hot items there in the second row to the left.
Then there's our second set of stairs to Marie, so now it's just whether we found the door or not. Seeing that we're getting most of Act 3 opened up to us with that mermaid statue there for Bluster. Be interesting to see exactly how much is required. Our first seed today had like 8 of the 12 required items to beat the game in St. L's.
Fortunately, we don't have access to the ghost ship just yet. Preferably, you have the big pearl with the dolphin so that you can also reach that secret cove.
Yes, and see if that turns out to be a reward or a loss this time around. It definitely paid off in the first run today. Axeman showing us the perks of having that magic. Such an interesting race, having had everybody kind of go their own separate ways and now kind of seeing them all backtrack to get to that middle point that is holding everything up. Trying to keep my eye on PaleDim's stream since he's there in Bluster, giving us our first looks at that. Oh, there's our sleeping dolphin. Yeah, I think we'll flip over to PaleDim's audio here for just a minute, just since it is a newer area. Omega, feel free to join the Discord there. Link was posted. And like I said, all of these runners, I myself included, and numerous members of the community are more than willing to help you kind of learn this randomizer. It is fairly long, so don't think that you're just gonna be able to pick it up and do it as quick as like Link to the Past randomizers can be run and some of the others that are out there. So this one does definitely take some time to get completed. No, not a problem. It's part of what we're here for, is to kind of show this off and get some new exposure. This year we had 18 people do the pre-qualification for this seed, and we're just showing the top 12 of those 18. Like I said, this is our second race of the day. We already have one winner with Lost Core, and he'll be in the finals tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern, with whoever wins this race. Our third race, that's at 5 o'clock this evening, Eastern Daylight Time, and then whichever one of our second place runners finish closest to their first place winner. Let's see if this mole that we have to escort pays off or if it's a dud check. And that is where we have our red hot stick. So, Kapitein now has all 3 red hot items himself. See what goes on now. We're going to check this dream rod sequence.
What we have there is a bird who's really a stump, and they believe they can fly. Let's see what the item
Shout
is.
out. Oh, and it's vanilla ice armor. That crashes the stream. Or is it just my feed that went down?
So now we have 3 of the 6 stones. The Master will prevent you from entering the world of evil until you have all 6.
Figures I'd end up with the tech difficulty at some point.
I understand you were having technical difficulties. Would you like a medical herb?
No, I'm good now. Thank you. I'm race to see who finds all the NPCs we need to get to Gnome at this point. Based on the tracker, it looks like the game is registering that Axeman has completed all the requirements to get Gnome pulled out. Nope, nope, he's still missing the king, so we're still short an NPC. And so this is what happens in the randomizer sometimes, especially when racing. Like, it'll open up and give everybody like a lot of places to go, but then it's always going to bring everybody kind of back together. First seed today, it just was a lot of areas that had critical NPCs and whatnot in almost every area that they went to. This one is having some little breaks in it where there's not as much important being found. So, but we'll just keep going through and see who finds the stuff first.
Indeed, usually at the beginning it is quite linear because the options to progress to further acts are very limited, starting with the underground castle. But quickly you'll find by acts 4, especially 5 and 6, that you end up having to go back quite a bit.
So Axeman there going through Act 1, still showing that we've got quite a bit still left to unlock there with not having the watermill keeper, which gives us access to the other part of the underground castle, which could be very important, along with we haven't found Lisa, one of the main characters that has a dream that gives you a NPC lair and a chest that you have to wake her up for to get to in that underground castle area. But if you have never played the vanilla game, do take a minute and, at some point and check it out, because the storyline behind the whole game is fairly interesting.
Indeed, in vanilla we have our players set out to revive the world, one soul at a time, effectively.
Which, yes, is a common theme for what is casually known as the Quintet Trilogy, which is the makers of this game. They did Soul Blazer, IOG, or Illusion of Gaia, and Terranigma. All of them kind of have the same basic idea, just different viewpoints of it, or so I'm told from those that run it. And so everybody has kind of their different take on which one is the best of that grouping. Particularly this one is mine, because I'm not too into Illusion of Gaia or Terranigma. Never got to play that one as a kid.
Oh, all those bat shots in the upper right for poor PaleDim, it's definitely causing some lag up there.
Yes, this area very much lots of lag from the monster spawns, because they use magic along as we use magic. Okay, let's see. Gnome giving us the recovery sword. Very interesting sword to have in the game. Normally you get it very late, so.
And if we'll be level 22, I believe, so if they put it on, it would be some poking going on.
Yeah, but however, it does recover your HP as you take on the monsters, so could be kind of a win-win. But with Chitin being there in Dr. Leo's lab, Act 5, runs into some metal monsters, that means that sword's not really helpful to you.
However, he is at level 16, so he can swing that Zantetsu sword. I'm corrected, 17.
So as you'll notice, there are going to be some layers, especially in this zone, that Chitin's not going to go interact with at all. We refer to those as useless layers, because all they do is create some pathing that's not necessarily needed to move forward in that area, and doesn't lead to any chests or anything like that. So.
For those of you just getting started with this game, I believe if you press start, the gameplay pauses and it will show you how many more monster layers remain on that section of the world that you're in right now.
Yes, that is correct. Also, if you push, I believe it's the A button, the A button would also bring up like what gear you're wearing, which souls you've collected, and like how much XP you need to the next level as well. So little things, you know, if you're getting started. Axeman off to do the bluster checks while Chitin is still finishing up the power plant.
As far as strategy goes, when you're running this, there are different approaches. One would be depth in terms of how many acts you can reach, because in general the enemies are stronger, but also yield more experience as you uh, vanquish them, I guess. Whereas breadth would give you clearing more areas, and you're less likely to forget a place, as well as you don't have to continually move back and forth, and that takes time.
Very, very true. So since PaleDim has his mushroom shoes, he's given us kind of the first look at LA Knoll, which is an area that a lot of people don't like to do because it is a very slow zone, along with Chitin finishing up Tyndall, who's the boss of Act 5. Chitin getting rewarded with a kind of useless NPC. PaleDim finding a chest of drawers that's in Act 5 that yields 2 items if we can find that door key and the door prior to it to make it to it. And another leader of a world giving us a medical herb. Okay. Let's switch over to Chitin's audio since he's got a different zone for us. I know quite a few people in the community that feel that that music right there is the best music in the game.
Personally, I'm a fan of Ladle. It's kind of just smooth and mellow.
Personally, I'm a seabed kind of favorite because, again, it's kind of calming and doesn't make your heart like go crazy. Okay, PaleDim finding another one of those NPCs we're gonna need to be able to get down to the king and the dancing grandmas to turn in our red hot items and get access to the final battle.
And it looks like 3 of them have the VIP card. That should get access to the right tower in Act 6 at the castle.
Well, luckily we found it early, because that first match today, it was a last locationed item to get the last NPCs we needed. And I missed where that soldier told us Dr. Leo was hiding out at. Okay, so there we found Elisa and a singer for the concert hall, which can lead to some stuff. Oh, and we just found the watermill keeper, so a lot more stuff opening up as people are moving about these different zones. Turbo, you're missing the rando being the rando and opening up lots of stuff. Again, everybody, welcome to the 4th annual Herb% Soul Blazer Rando Tournament. Again, if you are totally enjoying what you're seeing, please make sure that you give these runners a follow. Thank you for SpeedGaming for hosting us this weekend. And then, of course, thank you to everybody that's put forth effort in putting this together behind the scenes. There are just too many people that can be named there, so I'm just going to leave it at that. Thank you to the monitor for making our prize for this year's tournament. We'll show that again here in a little bit. Right now, just don't want to let you guys miss out on new things that are being found. Kapitein finding the soul armor, so we are getting closer and closer to the end of this run.
Indeed, still looking for the Phoenix, as well as the Soul Blade.
And 3 stones that we have to find before we go to the world of evil, which is Act 7. So still quite a lot of game to have to get through, but it could all be very, very fast at the same time.
So at this point, it appears that runners have all mostly decided to continue to check things through the first 5 acts. Marie is accessible, so the only viable option that's really open to us at the castle is the basement at this point.
And that access is only open about 2 or 3 layers actually, because it does hard lock you just before the very end of this basement with a monster that we need a special sword for to get past. The ghost monsters here have to be killed by the spirit blade or the soul blade, or spirit sword or soul blade, excuse me.
And as Randomizer goes, you just don't know where those required items will be.
So true. And as you notice, some of our stuff are in spots that are not necessarily where you would think items are at kind of spots. They're kind of hidden little gems within the game that if you don't know to walk there, you won't find what you're looking for. So, quite a bit of knowledge that you need for this randomizer too. TheAxeman, they're waking Lisa up, who gets really mad about the fact that you are in her house, and there's Kapitein finding the spirit sword and our 4th stone. So you see Kapitein kind of standing there, and the ghost is just kind of going around him. There actually is a little trick with the way that these are coded, in that if you stand in a specific spot, they just kind of float around you. They don't teleport away as often or start causing you damage. Kapitein has been a great help in teaching quite a few of the rando community here this little trick. Unfortunately, he can't swing the spirit sword right now, so this just takes a while to get them all down.
However, as you see, he is gaining 700 experience per evil spirit, I guess, that he's destroying, so that level will come quick.
And there we go. Now he's got to level 19, so he's able to swing that sword, so this should go a little bit faster if he has to fight any more of them. Oh, is TheAxeman thinking he forgot something and running back through areas? Oh, he must think... Oh, he isn't able to go forward anymore, so he's trying to figure out where he's still got NPCs to unlock.
That is an unfortunate place to be in when you're trying to run a race. Certainly, it's a bit of a time sink to try to find that one item or NPC in order to make more progression and move forward.
Oh, the randomizer got TheAxeman last year, so this is a little heartbreaking. Okay, and 2 of our 3 runners have the mushroom shoes. I totally missed where they got them, watching everything that was going on. So I'm not sure where he's missing an item check at this point. Because yes, I'm pretty sure that the king was up there on Lane Knoll, which you need the mushroom shoes for. If somebody in chat happens to remember, well, we'd greatly appreciate the knowledge at this point. It's okay, Jay. Thank you for at least, speaking up, since I, put the question kind of out there. Yeah, everybody kind of making their way progression-wise. Kind of keep going through, but Axeman is just having a hard time figuring out where he left this item. Kite in there finding the big pearl. Could lead us to oh, he had completely forgotten the area. Okay. Well, at least he found where he was. Still had some layers to deal with. Yeah, that's a big one to kind of miss, and I feel really bad for him. But we'll see if he may still turn this around. Everybody, I mean, the last race shows us that it could be one simple choice that makes a huge difference. I mean, there for that first race, it looked for a good little bit like High Spirits was gonna win, and then realized that he was missing some NPCs. So this may not hurt Axeman as much as we think. So let's just keep hype, keep playing, see what the rando gives us.
And if you've been enjoying what you've been seeing here today, we encourage you to reach out and give these 4 runners a follow. I'm sure they would appreciate it. They've been putting on a great show for us thus so far today.
Yes, and like we said, if this is making you want to learn this randomizer, or even picking up the vanilla game and learning that speed run, like I said, we have several members of the community that are very experienced in both, some of which have world records in the speed runs for these games in multiple categories. And like I said, it's just one of those, we are all very, very accommodating to try to help people.
And it looks like Kapitein has picked up the platinum card that gets access to the left tower, or known as the lag tower. So we'll see if there are any items there, perhaps.
And Pale is dealing with probably one of the most annoying monsters in the game, the little metal mice that run all over the screen. Again, like we said, this game is part of kind of a trilogy. You'll see some of the monsters are reminiscent to the other games in that trilogy. Yeah. And so, along with, it does kind of look like ActRaiser, or from what I'm told. There's some similarities there, all kind of came out at the same time. So... And Turbo, that's not true. Solar helps people too. He just prefers to be one of those, he only plays this game near tournament time. But for anybody that's looking to watch more of this, please stay, come back and watch the third race today. It also is going to have some really great runners in it. I know the Hulk's going to be in it. Admiral J, who's in the chat, is going to be in it. Solar Cell 007 will be in that one too. And I forgetting who the fourth is right this second. But I'll look it back up and I'll let you know. And the fourth runner in that race is going to be Dented Razor. Like I said, they're all great racers too. So the community does have a great group of people. Okay, and Chitin is down there in our VIP tower, giving us a check of that. See if we got everything we need for kind of our final cutscene.
And just a bit of knowledge for those who may not know, and we'll see Chitin take what looks like walking through something. There's a hidden staircase that's right there. When you have the soul, then that would be revealed normally.
Yep, there we are. 5 stones, purple stone, and the magic bell here. Getting ever closer to that access to the world of evil. It'll be interesting to see where our last 2 really required items outside of the stones are, though. We still have not found them.
They may be in the world of evil, but then again, they may not be. They could be somewhere else in this world.
Very true. Since we do have soul armor, they can be world of evil way, way late.
I expect if they don't have all the items by then, we would expect to see more of a full type clear going on in the world of evil rather than just straight up to the boss.
And that's another big thing to know going into this rando. All of the layers in the world of evil are just to open pathways to things. There are no more NPCs, so that's why you kind of see everybody kind of staying back in these first 6 worlds, kind of clearing everything out, because if they don't have an NPC, they know they still got to go find it.
Correct. Nothing but more access as well as some chests in the world of evil.
And there we go. Chitin has his 6 stones and the Phoenix, so he is a soul blade away. I believe at this point, maybe 2 more NPCs, maybe?
And the king, of course.
Yep, like I said, it's King Magrid and maybe 1 NPC in the Mountain of Souls to get to our king and grandma's. I think it's about all he's got left. Unless we just have a item NPC that is hiding stuff away. Kapitein now being the one that's kind of having to go back through everything, being like, okay, what do I still have to check? The pedestal was an herb, as always. Almost. See Axeman having a little bit of a time with those metal mice and how they spawn and their iframes being so long, so you gotta kind of race away from them to be able to get them quickly. Oh, there's everybody's kind of favorite item, the goat's food. So there's a goat back in Act 1 that, you know, if you bring him that food, he'll give you the location of the soul blade, the soul armor, or the phoenix, which is all random as to which one he gives you. So it could be helpful, could not be helpful. All depends on which seed you're running. Switch over to Captain Cook's audio real quick since he's doing model towns, which I think is among the first to go in there. But if there is an audio specifically that you as chat prefer to hear, please just let me know and we'll try to switch over to that audio if we're not got a lot going on.
Trying to keep everything straight. Have we seen anything come out of the right side of Underground Castle that's useful yet?
I don't believe so, because I think everybody but Kapitein has already done it. And I missed if Axeman went back and did the Lisa checks. Pale doing our dancing grandma's check to be rewarded with rotator magic.
And as you see there, the final boss's level is coming into dazzling space there for the final battle.
Now we're gonna see probably Kapitein do that check of the grandmas with the king, maybe?
That's a good item to see under the soldier's foot is the power bracelet. Or, well, no, that was the super bracelet, I believe.
Yes, an even better item to see under that guy's foot. Nope, it was the power bracelet, which is still nice. Not as nice as the super bracelet, but still a good check. Still very curious as to which layer they haven't gotten to top King Magrid. I don't know, I haven't... When Pale comes back out, we'll see. But I don't think anybody has found Bob the Builder this go round. Along with... I don't think anybody's done the left tower, because Kapitein's the only one that has the platinum card. So I don't know if we've gotten that available yet. Another herb.
There may be just a few in here.
Okay, so at this point, nobody's found Bob the Builder, with Axeman coming into Act 6. And don't think anybody's found King Magrid's soul, so still got at least 2 NPCs we're looking for.
And at this point in the game, there's a lot of world to cover with the items that they have, so There could be a lot of backtracking to be covered on this one.
Yeah, and as we can see, there's quite a wide variety of, how many stones each runner has versus, where they have access to. Oh, light armor. That's really nice for early areas if we have to backtrack. Make it where you become invulnerable or invincible to most of the monsters. I think if there is absolutely one layer in the whole game that I dislike the most, it's this one right here. Because you're on this ice slope and having to take on these monsters. And it's just so hard to kind of bounce back and forth, especially if you don't have magic.
And especially if it's a layer where they single spawn wizards.
The bats are a little annoying too on that one because, they'll either end up hitting you as they first take off, or it's just miserable. Saw Axeman there not needing to do the little trick of getting the spirits to just kind of circle around you. That can be risky because if you aren't paying attention to how far out you are, they start spawning on and off the screen, which can hurt you severely. Yes, Delina, this one definitely has a lot more herbs than I think the first seed had today. But again, as we like to say with this rando, nobody is clearly a winner until they are on the way to the world of evil and the final boss. So while Kapitein is definitely ahead in progression to get there, those few NPCs he's missing are starting to kind of let everybody catch up.
Indeed, it won't be over until all those items are found and we can finally go defeat the boss. So, still have a couple NPCs, and obviously the Soul Blade will be found at some point here as well. That could be in the world of evil, could be somewhere else.
Twinkie, I mean, you just haven't come across those seeds yet. I mean, I've had numerous that start off with an herb kind of early or a decent magic. It's just, what else can the rando throw at you as a curveball?
Although I will admit, it's sometimes early Greenwood is deadly. Sometimes I have to die a few deaths to get through that first section there.
Oh yes, very much so.
The grab hand plants are the worst.
While I enjoyed the teleporting statues kind of being, you know, like all at one time, sometimes having to deal with the little balls that they fire out at us gets to be pretty tedious too. So Greenwood can be a make or break point in a run. I definitely can say that, but yes, very much so. Learning the different enemies' iframe rates are definitely some of the trickiest things to do in the game. Oh, I wonder if this could be a critical NPC under the Demon Bird boss, since you actually don't need all three of those NPCs on the dock before doing it, as long as you have everything else.
I was thinking that as well. I'm hoping to not have to see that on the seed.
But at least it feels like this is a real race of everybody trying to find like that last little bit of progression, and whoever finds it first will definitely have a lead.
But as it is and now, we don't have a clear leader in this pack. We're still getting stymied by some of those items and NPCs that we need, so... We could be wrapping up soon, or, well, we could still be here a while. We just don't know yet.
It'll be real interesting to see like how close these times compare to like our first seed today, or even our third race later this afternoon. Just to kind of tell you like how skilled these runners are, if they can be like super close even on different seeds.
Looking ahead to the next round, how close was the second place on that first heat?
Give me just a second to re-pull that back up. So there is roughly 6 minutes little bit short of 6 minutes between first and second place from the first run.
Okay, that'll be interesting to see what happens here and the next one as well.
Okay, there we got Pale with all of his stones, and now it'll just be going back. He still has to find the soul armor, which was on the sleeping cat in Leo's lab, if I remember correctly, along with the hunt for the soul blade, and just getting King Magrid to move on. And all I can say is at this time, everybody, I was told that the seed is fully completable, so we will find these NPCs. Jay, we still have to find Bob the Builder, I think. So that's still 2 that we gotta find. Well, knowing Axeman the way I do, he might give us that first check of what exactly is the NPC on Demon Bird, but I could be very mistaken.
Looks like he's heading off to the underground castle instead. Remembering to take a look at some other things here before he proceeds down there.
Okay, so we got Kapitein back in Act 6, picking up his items that he's unlocked, finding that power bracelet to make things a little easier. Can you see what happens?
And now we have Kapitein checking out the left flag tower. Let's take a look.
Is it gonna be left tower? Those night horses are also among some of the annoying monsters because their iframes are extremely long too, with those spikes that come out of them. Here we see Kapitein taking care of monsters inside this wall that you'd be able to see becomes opened with the soul for this particular zone that we kind of learn to play around without. Okay, coming down to our last like 4 NPCs in this zone. Okay, this gives us the little shy bird that flies around in Act 2. Our soldier that lets us know what the sleeping soldier has if we find him early enough, but Kapitein's already done that dream sequence. Well, there is our King Magrid's soul in the left tower.
You can see a little bit of frustration there on the player's behalf.
But he's still missing a layer somewhere. So what all do we still have left? Anybody in chat? Pale just found the soul blade. Thanks to Lena for pointing that out. I'm not exactly sure where he just found it, but guess we'll be there in Act 3. Oh no, uninformed. Normally Magrid is in the right tower behind the demon bird. So, is randomized. A little French vanilla, but still randomized. Oh, another Turbo's grave was something important. Oh, that's crazy.
So Demon Bird is still on the table there to finally get to the King Magrid there. So we're not done yet.
Oh, not a problem, uninformed. We're just it's one of those things, making sure that we correct because we do have, people that are new to watching this race. And, we'd hate to confuse them over something, simple. Yes, yes, it's very easy to mix things up in this, especially the more randos that you do, because of how much they tend to make you do everything. Um, but of course, our community is growing. We have people that are interested in trying to make more, and Chitin just found Bob the Builder. Where, oh, where? Oh, that last layer in the light shrine that needs the spirit sword. But if you have game development skills, like coding and programming and stuff like that, and want to try your hand at this, like I said, we do have people within the community that are even looking to kind of change up some things inside the game so that we can maybe give some more variance than just, hey, here's a seed and it may work, it may not.
I could see that spirit layer in the light shrine being last location here. We'll have to see how that pans out for the other runners.
Yeah, very true, because, we get spirit sword right there in Act 6, and, the soul blade is even later than that, so those are definitely layers that we had to come back to. I have to agree, they don't do more than one, maybe two a day. After that, they all just really do start running together, and your times show that you're getting very, very confused. So yes, shout out to all the other rando runners out there that, can do multiple seeds in their game of choice a day, because it is so confusing to me.
So for those of you catching up here, we have Chitin 44 in the lower left. He is our current leader at this point, just making their way through the world of evil to the final boss.
Which he will be going extremely fast through here because he is already level 24, so he can swing the soul blade. And other than just running to the boss, doesn't have anything else he needs to collect here. Now yes, it is go time for Kapitein. He is to our final boss, setting up his final menu. And there you see him doing a little bit of lag reduction by letting those little crystal beams shoot before he completed taking out those flame pillars, which makes Death Toll vulnerable to the Phoenix fire. And this fight goes rather quickly in that it's 12 or 13 rounds of fire shots and it'll be done.
Just a sidebar as he's wrapping up, what I would development love to see in this randomizer are some stats at the end to see, you know, how long different NPCs took to get to and such. That would be really nice to see.
Okay, there you saw him going ahead and equipping his medical herb to be able to stay alive in this because he's almost done. And there we are, everybody. GG's to Kapitein as our first place for this run. We'll give Kapitein just a minute or two here, see if he wants to come in and do an interview. That run right there is like 15 minutes faster than our first winner today. Just to show you like how quick this can be.
Indeed, 208, that is an impressive time. I would like to have a 208. I do not have one like that yet.
My fastest seed is still like 11 minutes slower than this, so I can totally relate. I would love to have a 208 under my belt. Okay, we got Axeman in left tower. So we'll see how much longer it takes before our next runner manages to finish up. Everybody's kind of in that ramp up mode. Sorry, everybody. I forgot to click that sooner. Hopefully we'll be getting Kapitein in here momentarily to do an interview, see how he liked or disliked the seed. Well, welcome in, Kapitein. GG's.
Well, thank you. I guess it's better to be lucky than good.
Well, it certainly paid off in this percent round, so GG's, congratulations.
So first questions, how did you feel about the seed? Because I know from a viewer's point of view, it was like open chaos.
Yeah, when I got Emblem for 5, I just started laughing. Like, that's the worst start that you can get. It's like, all your items are just useless. Like, give me an armor, give me something. And then, it's like, like when I broke the queen and got light arrow, I was like, okay, this might lead to something good.
Yeah, it was definitely hard to kind of follow where everything was at, and you know, of course, you know, everybody that's been doing this for a while is always subject to the pitfalls of the game. So yeah, sometimes being lucky is just the answer, but you are also very, very good at this game. Don't ever discredit yourself there, please.
Thank you. I have been playing for 5 years.
So at what point did you make the decision then to go back to the Light Shrine for that Spirit Layer?
Well, I only needed the Soul Blade, so I was like, I'm gonna do some cleanup checks. So I went back to Greenwood and talked to Teddy. I was like, I'm gonna do my cleanup checks in Act 2 before I delve deep into the seabed, because that's where I was heading. And it was like, the Light Shrine, yeah, it's not the best, but once I got the Soul Blade on Turbo, it's like, well, I don't have to go get the item in the second floor, so I'll just do this one-off check real quick. And that's what I mean, it's better to be lucky, because like there's no reason to go there.
Very true at that point.
There's so many other places that have higher value.
And like we're seeing with Axeman right now, he's actually giving us our demon bird check because he is still looking for Bob the Builder, who is under that Light Shrine check.
Like, that's... I was curious, because I know Axeman likes to break the back door to South Erda. So I was wondering if anybody else did that. Getting early.
Let's just say South Erda got the better of Axeman this year.
Uh-oh. Like, this game's funny, because once you start learning, like, how to manipulate enemies, the mountain is actually easier than South Erda. Because those birds, I have a friend who calls them ho-os. they're so hard to manipulate. So if you get a bad South Erda with a bunch of birds, it can just wreck you early.
Very true, very true. Also, just kind of your normal playthrough to rush as far forward as you can go, or was that just you wanted to try to see what this seed was going to do compared to what last seed did to everybody?
No, that's pretty typical for me. It's like, I like to go forward more than I like to go backwards. And my personal thinking is, it's like you can unlock Watermill, but I would rather go back to Act 1 and do Watermill, Leo's painting, and Lisa all in one go. So if I can go forward, I'd rather go forward than backwards and only make one trip back. That's my personal thinking.
Okay, and just a quick side note for all of those watching, you'll notice that Chitin's screen is kind of stuck in a very odd position. That is part of the credit roll, that if you don't obtain certain NPCs throughout the game, it will soft lock you during the credits because you can't move on without that NPC to move the story along. How does it feel to have a 208 seed under your belt?
Well, I mean, anything under 2.5 is fantastic. I was about 134. I was like, is this possible, a sub 2? And I guess if you did everything right, it could have been. But yeah, I'm ecstatic for a 208.
Indeed, 208 is an impressive time. We were discussing that as you were wrapping up. But, you know, that would be really nice to have, let alone in a tournament. So, congrats.
Yeah, I have 2 seeds I've done sub 2. I remember when I was trying it, like every day after work, I'd come home and I was just like my stream title was Quest for sub 2. Eventually I got one, and then like a week later I got my second one.
As far as time goes, between your placement and whoever comes in second here, compared to the first heat, was around 6 minutes, and we are at plus 11 on this one. So we'll see how it pans out for the tournament.
Yeah, I know all 3 of these other runners. It's just like they're very capable of beating me. If you look at the weekly A6, I believe all 3 of them have beaten me quite a few times. So it was a tough competition. Like I said, better to be lucky.
Yeah, it does get a little heartbreaking to see, some of these runners, seeming to really struggle with this seed. But again, it's still a very great race. They are all great runners. Again, make sure to give them a follow. Check them out when they are running Soul Blazer weeklies and other rando seeds. All of them are very helpful in being able to give you little tips and tricks while they're running as well. And normally can do it without it even seeming to affect them. So all applauds to them.
For anybody that's never raced before, it's really disheartening to see that somebody's finished. Because I remember last year, like I felt like I was in a really good spot, and then all of a sudden, Lost Core finished, then Alien Cube finished, and I'm like, what the crap? I thought I was doing good, and now I'm already in 3rd. So it's like, I hope these guys aren't discouraged.
Very true. I'm sure Axeman realizes that he got burnt again fairly quickly, so it's not so much that he's going to be disheartened by seeing somebody finished, but I know Captain Cook this is his first year running this tournament with us, so it might be getting to him a little bit. I don't really know, but it's definitely something we can ask about, and how everybody kind of feels that they did. You might, QB, you might have another race to do tomorrow. So Delina, what happens is they are in a race room with a site called racetime.gg, and that's how we got our timers there in the beginning of the run, so that they were all synced up and they all knew when to start. When Kapitein clicked that he was done, it alerts in that room that he's done. Sometimes the racers minimize that window and don't see it, and then there are some that they have enough space on their screens to have it pulled up, and so they see, oh, somebody's finished. So it can sometimes get to be disheartening there.
Right, so I have the space. I purposefully minimized race times window, so I just don't want to know until, I'm getting closer and kind of get into go mode. Then at that point, I'll probably bring it up.
That's probably a good idea. I just left it up just because it was up. But I think from now on I will minimize it.
Because if you're like me, the biggest race you're really racing against is yourself. So, in this case, you've got 3 other competitors, and you came in first, so congrats.
Yeah, I always say, I play the game for fun. And personally, for me, the more trolly the seed, the more fun it is.
So how would you put this particular seed for this tournament? Is trolly or not?
Well,
there were some aspects that were. So.
And you can compare it to the one earlier too. I mean, I know you watched a good bit of it, so you can say which one was trollier.
Well, I'm just thinking, I didn't do any of the seabed, right? So, you could spend a good half an hour doing all the seabed. It's so that's a super troll. And then for the last, or at least in my case, the last NPC to be in Light Shrine, that's also yeah, I think.
Oh, certainly. Yeah, that'll be a last location I expect to see by the time we're done here.
Looks like Axeman's in there.
And he's getting close to that 20-30 minutes behind you too, so, and I think he did all of the seabed on top of everything else. This is his last location.
Well, so yeah, just thinking having all the emblems at first for it to be herb token, and then King Magrid in left tower, and then
that's definitely trolly.
With nothing in the seabed, and then you have to revisit Light Shrine. Yeah, this was a pretty trolly seed. I don't know if you noticed, but I gambled on. I skipped the second screen in Leo's basement because that's my least favorite location. But then when I got down to it, I was like, I gotta go back. I was like, I couldn't live with my gamble.
Well, wasn't that second screen of that basement what hurt you last year?
Yeah, it's hurt me before, yeah. But I don't like it.
Oh, poor Axeman. He's gonna go find that is a dud. Well, we will learn what all the chests in World of Evil are now, everybody.
Did he not do turbo?
Apparently not, because his tracker still doesn't have the Soul Blade checked off. And there would be no reason for him to be opening up those layers right there if he had it.
Yeah, it's like, as a general rule of thumb, you usually think that World of Evil has at least one item. It doesn't always, but I'd say a good 70% of the time it has at least something. So he might be gambling on that and not deliberately not doing checks thinking it's in World of Evil.
Yeah, I could see that as a valid gamble here at the end game.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I know I would do it before having gone back to do some of the stuff, but having just been there in
Light Shrine? Right.
Light Shrine and Act 2, not making sure I'd cleared all those checks would hurt.
Alright, well, I think I need to go get something to eat. And then I actually have to go to bed because I have to work tonight.
Well, again, GG's Chitin. We will see you again tomorrow in the morning. So, how you have to plan accordingly to make all that happen. And we'll see you tomorrow.
All right. Thanks for commentating. Thanks to the other runners. Give everybody a follow. Except for me. You don't have to follow me. I'm a bad streamer. And I will see everybody next time.
Okay, GG, and congratulations again. See you tomorrow.
Thank you. Bye.
So yes, again, everybody make sure that you give a follow to these runners. Thank you again, SpeedGaming, for hosting us. Again, there's the link for the prize today, which we'll probably bring back up on the screen just after Axeman finishes this final battle. Just so that we don't cut away from that too soon. Provided, you know,
Well,
now that
yeah,
he's on the
that.
Soul Blade hunt.
Oh boy. I wonder if he'll go check the goat food before too long. I mean, it's 1 in 3, so...
Yeah, I mean, this might be a very good chance to throw that prize up there, since we just know that he's running around looking for the Soul Blade that's back in Act 2. See how long before he gets there. Again, shout outs to the monitor for creating the shadow box for whoever wins this tournament. He does have lots of other things on his Etsy shop to include like little cube dioramas, other shadow boxes, a wide array of stuff, and he does take like if you messaged him, I believe he does take some specialty stuff if he feels that it's enough of an interest. And again, he is doing a sale in his store this weekend while the tournament is going on with the specialty code of Soul Sale, and those links are all in the chat for everybody. And let's see. Okay, so Axeman is doing the Tiki Dream, so let's go ahead and pan back to watch him see that he left this behind for so long. And there we go. Now he'll be on that rush to the boss to finish it up. And get your hype in chat for Axeman being in go mode. Pale being back in Light Shrine to get his last NPC, and then he'll be on the way to the World of Evil too. Okay, so Axeman didn't necessarily wait for that frame reduction to go away before trying to finish up, so you can see where it's getting a little laggier compared to some of the other boss fights we've had today with Death Toll. And there's Pale in go mode.
Meanwhile, we have Captain Cook in the lower right doing some more cleanup, looking for those final items.
I know it's getting extremely late for him. I know he's one of our EU players, so we'll see if he does finish up once he sees the others have all finished. There we go. GG's to Axeman, who's completed. And we'll see if he comes in for some interview time. But of course, we'll allow him a minute to kind of get up and stretch before he makes that decision.
Oh, step on it. Fuck. Oh, not what I needed. Shit. I don't need items.
And PaleDim's getting level 24, so it is fully go mode and just heading straight to the door.
Welcome in, Axeman. GG's on completing.
Indeed, GG. We'll
maybe.
be picking him up here probably in a minute, hopefully. Just wait a minute there for Axeman to come back in, see if pick up his audio. In the meantime, PaleDim is going into the boss fight now.
Pale's fight looking good right now. Not taking too much damage.
What? Oh shit. No. Shit. Yeah. I do have one, I didn't put it on. I'm not putting it on yet, I have a bracelet on. Shit. I'm not putting the herb on. I need the defense of the bracelet.
All right.
Welcome in, Axeman. GG's on finishing.
Thank you.
I hope that didn't cost me.
So I'm surprised that I was still able to get second after forgetting South Erta for like 20 minutes. Because I knew after doing Rockbird and finding nothing there, I was pretty sure that the rest of the I was pretty sure that there would be nothing in Durian, and there wasn't. And so, like, I knew there was so much that I could have skipped, but I kind of like, I totally just forgot about Rockbird, or whatever. No, Storm, the other one, South Erta.
It happens. I mean, we've all made that mistake at some point, whether it's South Erta or another zone.
I kept thinking,
overall,
I didn't think
how
like I
did you
missed
feel
any
about this season?
layers, but I missed a whole zone. Which was...
But overall, how would you have rated the seed outside of that error?
So yeah, I don't know how much time I could have gained if I had, remembered to do that, but like, yeah.
Well, not exactly sure, how to, we all know what happens. I mean, at
So-
least in a way, you kind of know that you don't have to run again tomorrow.
That's true. Yeah,
So,
Well, maybe. We'll see.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. The let's see. So how I don't think I saw the whole
The
thing.
first heat was about 6 minutes, so maybe.
Oh, so
yeah, you are clear. You are not gonna have to run again tomorrow.
yeah,
It
yeah.
is
So yeah.
almost 30 minutes between you and Chitin for this seed, and there's only about a 6-minute delay. GG's to Pale for finishing. Get those in the hype. Now I'll remember to click things right. There we go. And now we'll see if Pale wants to come in and talk for a little bit as well. So I know you kind of watched the first run. How much of a relief was it that there really wasn't anything in the seabed for this seed?
It was it was not a bad seed. I don't know how everyone else did at the start, but like I don't know. I think I was just more annoyed that there were so many like single spawning layers that were slowing me down. It was, waiting. I was getting annoyed waiting.
And then to see all those emblems start showing up before very long.
That's right. So excited for my medical herb. That's the name of the tournament.
We couldn't do it without the medical herb, so no matter how much we wish we could. Okay, now to kind of sit here and watch Captain cook. See how long before he realizes where he's left stuff. But he's just been kind of making steady progress, so good job to him in continuing to go at it, because like everybody said, the seed had its moments that it was very difficult, but also has been times that it got very, very fast.
So he needs Phoenix and 2 stones?
Yes, he has Phoenix, 2 stones, and yes, that's it for him. So Okay, sorry everybody, trying to work on getting Pale here into chat with us.
Good evening, everyone.
Welcome
PaleDim.
in, Pale. GG's on completing.
GG's.
So I know you get a little hard on yourself, but you did a fantastic job getting through this seed. But how do you feel overall?
That was the last 40 minutes was incredibly long. Looking for Magrid and Bob the Builder.
Yeah, everybody kind of last locationed those two. I know Chitin just kind of skipped out on the seabed, just kind of in general, which is what saved him a good portion of time. But like I said, you all are fantastic runners. Don't get too down on yourself, please.
No, it was a really good seed, but I went to seabed and I cleared out 2 areas and there was nothing. There was just, it opened durian and I'm like, I'm noping out of this, and like I think I went to mountain next and it seemed to get better from there.
I did the same thing, but the problem was I didn't come back and do South Erta.
Yeah,
I would normally do South Erta immediately when it's available. That's just my habit, I guess.
Yeah, I was so weak, I thought I'd go to the mountain and get a few levels real easy and then come back, but then I totally forgot about it.
okay, that's what that was. Watching chat to kind of find out we had some extra audio, and we didn't realize it when it flipped over to other streams that we had runners with their mics on. So what happened, Pale, right there at the end? I kind of missed it, trying to get everybody here into voice to kind of get Axeman's interview. So I'm sorry that I missed what happened.
Oh, I was just struggling on death toll, and for some reason I forgot to set an herb, and I took a death.
I was pretty close to doing that too. I needed my herb because I don't. Did you find the super bracelet?
I
didn't.
did not. I did not.
Okay. Yeah, that was.
I don't think anybody's found the super bracelet, to be 100% honest. So
Yeah, I don't think anyone's found it. Only the power bracelet.
Yeah, I got the power bracelet. I did the song for it.
now Captain Cook doing the where have I forgot stuff. Everybody did this seed.
Oh no! Has he checked all his NPCs? Because I think the stones are.
Yeah, so that concert hall with the soldier and where we turn in the harp string, Delina, it actually does play a song that is different than the rest of the game. Unfortunately, we weren't able to cut over to anybody's audio like quick enough when they were doing that check for you to kind of hear it, and it's normally such a fast flip through. In the vanilla game, when you talk to that NPC, he tells you that he wrote a song for Lisa, and that's what he's going to play for you. So it's the Ode to Lisa. Yeah, he's left his VIP card somewhere, and that's what's got him stuck.
I was pretty sure that VIP card came pretty early.
It was the boy in the middle of the mountain, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I want to say it was about the first third through half, so.
Oh, that's a little heartbreaking then. But he is doing a great job. He made it into the top 12. What more can we say? You know, he, like Kyton said during his interview, you know, sometimes luck is better than skill, but So yes, Lily, our winner for this race was Kyton. Our first race winner was Lost Core. So as of right now, those two are definitely in our final tomorrow. Our two second place runners that we've had so far, right now that's going to go to a runner from our first grouping, who had about a 6 minutes difference. So that would be High Spirits at this point. But we still have one more race to run that comes on in 55 minutes. So we might end up having to cut this one a little bit short to give everybody time to flip over for the next race. I really would hate to do that, so I'm hoping Captain Cook here kind of figures out the issue. And then so we'll be waiting on that like 5.5, 6 minutes between the end of the race in the third seed to find out who our fourth going into the final is.
So it does look like Light Shrine, Spirit, and Turbo Grave was pretty much the end of finding the things until people headed to the boss.
Yeah, the two stones that Captain Cook is missing is in that right tower. So he's got to remember where the VIP card is for this to finish out. Yeah, Delina. So, of course, there's always the possibility that, you know, whoever has the closest second place time may not be available to run tomorrow. So there is always the chance that we will go on to one of the other second placers. But most of the time, everybody kind of knows that's the gimmick of this tournament. Unless we know we're doing like a wild card round of all the second place finishers. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens.
So we're waiting for Captain Cook to realize he needs to go back to the mountain and talk to the boy for this VIP card.
Very much so is the answer that we're looking for.
So I've got a question. Is Blazer a real human like you and me?
Yes. No?
Maybe. I don't know. I think we're all a little bit strange, so in our own ways. So maybe that makes Blazer like us.
Well, I may not look it, but I come from the sky just like you.
Well, look at this. So since I cleared everything, I actually am getting the ending, whereas Chitin he never got Lisa, and so his ending is glitched here.
So yes, we get to meet Turbo the goat, where we had Turbo the dog's grave be very important.
Oh wait, do we remember Lisa?
Put your answers in chat. We'll see how the game ends based on the viewers. Oh, do we go with the first answer that popped up, or which one gets more? Looking like a resounding no, we don't remember Lisa, Axeman.
All right.
And it looks like for our runners, Captain Cook is taking a pause at this point. He may be done at this point. We'll see.
Yeah, like we said before, what he needs to do is go to the mountain home and talk to that boy in the middle who said right when we released him he had the VIP card, but it is easy to forget those things.
Salted it.
So, Captain Cook there just did reach out to me. He says he's going to try to finish it up. I'll give him a little bit more time before we, call the forfeit. But I totally left that up to him as to what he wanted to do. I had no influence either way. It was a straight his answer. He wants to keep trying to look for it. So, again, if you liked what you saw today, please make sure that you give any and all of our runners a follow. Thank you, SpeedGaming, for hosting us today. Good luck to all of those that still have to run today, and those that win and get to go on tomorrow. Again, we do have another race starting in 45 minutes, which will be our Group C run, which will have our last 4 of the top 12.
Something I noticed that was pretty unique about this seed, the second part of this underground castle was a total bust. That never happens. There's almost always something important there. Or there was something, unless there was some release there, maybe a crocodile or something.
Yeah, that's the
Pale
one thing.
or Axeman, maybe you can answer the question. Where was the mushroom shoes?
I feel like it was on an NPC, but I am not sure which one.
I mean, there was just so much going on because of how wide it opened up in the beginning, and then the next thing we know, people had mushroom shoes, and it was like, wait, where did they just pick those up?
I want to say it was somewhere in Greenwood. It was fairly early.
Yeah, maybe one of the one of the mole holes.
Oh, joys all. I've run enough seeds this past week to last me a lifetime. Nah, they weren't in Hype Cave Act 1. And they weren't on the hideout. I know that much. There is not a spoiler log for this race. Okay, well, since Captain Cook came back, you get to see kind of a strat that we use when you find the soul blade fairly early. Those spikes here in the water shrine are totally able to be taken out with the soul blade, and only the soul blade.
And they're valued at 3,000 experience each, so you can quickly level up. I'll put the question out there. If you do receive the early soul blade in Greenwood, how many levels do you take before you're done?
So I believe the general rule of thumb is if you get the soul blade before leaving Water Shrine or fairly early, you kind of take yourself up to level 19 and then move forward from there, because then that gives you the ability to swing the Zentetsu and the Spirit Blade. Spirit Sword, excuse me, I keep calling it a blade today.
I see Chitin put 24, 19's the standard. I'm more of a 22 kind of guy, I guess.
So why 22?
Seems like it's just enough for the extra experience to start being able to swing it sooner than later. And the time
22
difference
is
just
also the
doesn't
point
seem
for
like
the
it's too
recovery
far.
sword.
Exactly, in case I come across that as well.
Would that not be the case if you had Zentetsu or Spirit Sword already?
That is true.
Interesting. Okay.
I mean, it really is the last two levels that take the most time, I think. So, you know, there's not that much difference between 19 and 22.
So it was very interesting that this seed had a lot of dead areas, but the first seed had like every area was almost needed. Be interesting how the third one comes up.
Yeah, we get a lot of variety with that in our in our seeds.
Maybe the next one will be the jet seed. They'll get the soul blade early and run through it like 140.
Only the Hulk will finish at that.
Will lead to a very interesting final, if that's the case.
It was the chest in South Erica. That's where the mushroom shoes were.
Miss Minnie Lily stirring the pot, knowing who all's in the final race. And good morning to you, Lily. I'm glad to see that you've managed to get up to see at least some of these races today. Oh, I feel so bad that he keeps missing this NPC. I think he's going to end up feeling like he's checked everything. And then we'll have to let him know.
Yeah, there's Act 4 has the fewest NPC checks, and so it's kind of easy just to forget that that you could have talked to an NPC there.
Again, thank you everybody that has been sticking around to keep watching this, ending with us. I know it will make the runner feel a little bit better to know that, we didn't all just close up shop on him. And then we'll get ready for our next race. It's going to probably be a really quick turnaround for that. So...
And if you'd like to know more about Soul Blazer, Randomizer, or Vanilla, please join us in the Discord. The link's below in the chat. We'd love to welcome you there and give any guidance and support that you might want to get into this game. It's a great time.
And let me check this. Okay. I think with that, we're going to get the... Oh.
Arrived to Act 4. Come on, Captain.
Check the NPCs, not the zones, please. Okay, and with that, Captain Cook has taken the forfeit. He's going to take a quick break, and then members of the Discord can kind of help him finish through the seed if they would like. As I stated, thank you everybody. Please make sure you follow our racers, give them their support. They all did a fantastic job. And we will be back in 30 minutes with our final race for today.
Shout out again to SpeedGaming for hosting this tournament, as well as to the Monitor for providing us a prize for this tournament. It's very beautiful. Shout out to the 4 runners that we've had run this race. Please give them a follow if you've enjoyed what you've seen.